In this video, we'll be looking at how to manage your privacy and security settings in Google Chrome. Alright, so first up, we're going to go to the top right hand corner, look for the vertical ellipsis or those three dots. Once we click on that, we'll go to the option for settings, and then over on the left hand side, we'll see the option for privacy and security. Alright, so having clicked on that, we can scroll a little bit further and we'll be able to see the settings here for browsing data. That's one of the first things you want to look at when you're thinking about your privacy and security. You want to check your browsing data, or probably look at whether you want to store that there, or maybe you want to remove it. And you have the option here in the basic tab to just clear your browsing history, including your searches, etc., cookies and other cache and maybe temporary files, etc. In the advanced tab, however, you have a lot more options in terms of data you don't want your browser to be storing, and you also have the time periods that you can choose from as well. So if you want to remove only what all the browsing and other data that you have within the last hour or week or days, you have that option. In this case, I'm choosing to remove everything. So, and in terms of the different options for the data, there is password, data, cookies, download history. Um, you know, Maybe you have some data stored in some forms that you would use for some websites. If you don't want Chrome to store that data or information, then you can choose to remove that as well. Alright, so once you click on clear data here, all those data and information would have been removed. Now you have the option here for also cookies, and we can click on that, and currently mine is set to block third-party cookies in incognito mode, and in another video I'll share a little bit more on that. But you have the option also to allow all cookies or block third-party cookies. Third-party cookies are cookies that other websites, apart from the one that you're using, will utilize, alright, for different purposes. So you can decide whether you don't want, the current website you're using to share that information, so that you can make an informed decision about that. And as I've said previously in another video I'd done, that there's a trade-off when it comes down to privacy and security versus convenience, because you can have both at the same time. So if you want to have the convenience of your preferences being stored, and these websites catering to you in terms of marketing ads that are specific to your needs and your purposes, then you can go ahead and leave those cookies. But if you don't like that and you want to, stop sites from storing certain data about you, then you want to be able to manage those in such a way that you don't allow that. And so this option here that says clear cookies and site data when you close all windows would be ideal if you don't want Chrome or any other website to store any data about you, right? You also have additional options here that you can look at, and there's always exceptions, and you have the exceptions here. So if you want certain sites that are legitimate and you trust those sites, you can add them here. That says these sites can always use cookies. You can add them right here, and Chrome will remember to allow those sites to always always utilize cookies. And there are sites too that you may not want them to ever store or use cookies on you. If so be the case, then you can use this option here to add those sites there as well. Now, if you find that you have made some changes to your browser security and privacy settings and for some reason sites that you have used before are not working, then you can always go to this option here and well, maybe you're not sure exactly what settings to change or revert, then you can always go to this option right here, bottom left in the navigation pane. You can go to the reset and cleanup, and this will allow you to basically reset your settings to the original settings, which would allow you to now be able to do some of those things that you were able to do before. All right. So we were in site cookies and other data. Let's go back to where we were. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what we wanted to cover there. Let's head back to the site settings and then I'll jump up to security. All right. For this, you have options, for example, to allow your different sites to see your location or ask to use your camera or your microphone. Once again, there are legitimate purposes, legitimate sites like your conferencing tools, meeting tools that may need to utilize these, these hardware or different services. So you can choose to allow. Once again, this is based on your browsing habits and your preferences, but be informed. Make sure that you know what permissions these sites have, and so that you can make an informed decision about that. Um, Other things like pop-ups are usually by default, this option here, usually by default, this is something that you want to block. And however, once again, because you have a lot of malicious websites that can, um, use pop-ups to distribute malware, etc. However, if you do have legitimate sites, because you do have some legitimate sites that need to use pop-ups or they do use pop-ups for whatever legitimate reasons, so you can actually add those sites here. So where you have the allow to send pop-ups option, you can add these sites here using the add option. You just simply copy and paste the website URL, and it should be able to allow Chrome to remember that these sites are legitimate and they will use pop-ups. And yeah, just make sure that you're aware of that, and you can, once again, if there is a challenge, go to the reset and you can reset those settings. All right, I think those are the basic ones. If we go back here to security, now there are some security settings here as well. You can choose from the options you have: enhanced protection, standard protection. Um, the basic idea here is that Chrome is trying to protect you against different malicious websites that are out there. All right, this one is also interesting. Warn me if my passwords are, have been exposed in some breach or something like that. All right, so you can look at these options, and this one, always use secure connections. This is something good as well, because the truth is, a lot of times, there's a good setting that you want to have here. A lot of times you have malicious websites out there. They don't usually use secure websites, so you will not see HTTPS in the website URL. You'll probably see HTTP. What that means is, and especially if it could be a legitimate site too, but what happens is that um, when you're using HTTP instead of HTTPS, then any data that users enter in that site, in that website, whether it be username, password, can be basically tracked or basically captured by malicious persons or hackers easily. And so you don't really want that. All right. So that setting in terms of using secure connection is definitely something that you want to enable there. And there are some more advanced things. Maybe I'll look at that in another video. But I think we have covered at least um, the basic in terms of basic settings in terms of your privacy and your security. All right, and for good measure, I'll probably just click on Enhance Protection here. And this one is pretty good as well. Enhanced protection allows you to see. I mean, it warns you when you are about to actually utilize a dangerous website, and this is also something that you want to be aware of as well. And yeah, that's it. So that's it for today's video. I hope that this will actually give you a little bit more insight into how to beef up the security and privacy in your web browser. Once again, remember, if you make an error or there's something that is not working, you can always go back to reset. And this information is just to guide you. It's not a one size fit all, so you can make an informed decision as you go about ensuring that you have more privacy and security using your web browsers. All right, so that's it, and we'll see you in my next video. So if this video helped you in any way, please share. And of course, you can leave a comment to let me know how what type of settings you're configuring in your browser as it relates to your privacy and security. And yes, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you for watching.